Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Driving Me Crazy podcast. I am Avery Jones, and I am alone. That sounds very depressing. Chase isn't able to come in to record this week because he is down with the sickness. But he'll be fine. We just have to make do this week without him, which is going to be very odd, and it's going to be impossible to do, in fact, which is why for this episode, I am going through all of the recordings from our previous 8 episodes and finding the bits and pieces of things that did not make the show. As the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's podcast. So this episode's gonna be weird, probably a little choppy, but you will know we have changed audio clips when you hear this sound. It's like one of those old books on tapes. Anybody else have those? Just me? Alright. So I hope you will enjoy the best of rejected jokes, stories, etc. and things from the Driving Me Crazy podcast. I'll talk to you again at the end. Until then, here's this. Microphone test.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 4.
This
3.
Stop it. This is only a test.
I had a test one time. It came back questionable.
But enough about you.
But when in doubt, go to Walmart.
Whenever you're feeling bad about yourself.
That's what I always say. A lot of times
Don't tell that story.
Don't tell about Walmart.
Is this the guy you were just talking about?
No, I'm not talking about the guy. No, it's like they pick the absolute worst voices to do the intercom stuff.
Yeah, okay. Now I know where you're going.
It was just obviously a young girl, her first day on the job, and she's supposed to be, relaying the message. She said, "Attention, attention, can I have..." What's her name again? Charlene, what's her name again? An older lady comes on and says, "Please repeat that request." And she picks it up and says, "I'm sorry, I messed up. Will Janice please come to the front? We need help. We have too many people."
I had the one where they left the phone on the counter and they started talking bad about the people they were calling.
Oh, jeez.
Look at her. She's so stupid.
I feel like they get people from, bad theaters to do this.
Theater people would totally milk that moment.
They would milk that moment.
And these people have had no theatrical training.
See, I would be the one in the back saying, okay, just do this. He'd be like,
and do it like Peter Griffin.
Next, I need you to do Darth Vader. He's like,
I am looking for my son.
oh my gosh, is it bad to say when you said Nick Cage, my mind went to Nick Cannon? I don't know why.
Two very different actors.
Both equally horrible.
I got to see Nick Cannon when I was in New York on Live with Kelly and Michael, and it was just about as exciting as that sentence was. I stood out in the snow for 2 hours in New York City to see Nick Cannon and then a pre-taped interview with some actress. I had no idea who she was.
Do you realize the only thing that's kept him in any kind of spotlight has been Wild 'N Out? Most of the highlights they show are not of Nick Cannon. The only thing that makes him funny is they poke jokes at him and his ex-wife Mariah Carey.
Didn't he used to host one of the talent X Factor? Not X Factor.
Yes, and that lasted about as long as it probably should have.
Maybe he was America's Got Talent.
No, well that don't make sense because it's America's Got Talent.
You're so mean.
I'm being real though. Whoops. I think the only show right now that would really be interesting to see done is Phantom of the Opera. It's
everybody wears a mask.
Everywhere,
But
the Phantom goes without the mask.
That's true. Well, they have the masquerade in the middle.
The masquerade?
Yeah. I'm sorry, sir.
Well, I used to work at Chick-fil-A, and that was a big part of it. Like, how you couldn't understand them. Yeah. They would get mad at me. I'm Southern as they come. Like, you can obviously tell I was raised on dirt road or thrown on dirt road at least 5 times when I was a child. I can't hardly speak the English language without it.
I overcompensate really bad when I talk. My theater training kicks in and all of my syllables come out.
Yeah, I was told recently that it sounds like I'm speaking in fragmented sentences that have no periods or commas in them.
You speak in run-on sentences every day of your life without the mask.
Yes, and what was funny was I was seriously considering being an English major growing up. You can listen to me and tell that. Yeah, not a thing. Because they have all those plastic things hanging up.
For the social distancing?
Yes. Let me get something very clear here. Social distancing. What do they say social distancing is?
What, like 6 feet?
6 feet. A plastic sheet.
I
don't like that you're saying it blocks the particles. Particles aren't clapping noise.
That's the sound of the particles hitting the glass.
I've never heard of glass.
That's protection.
Next time we go to Waffle House, I'm gonna look at one of them things. I'm gonna go
particle.
Just recently, me and you were driving around. I said, "Avery, did you see that sign? Little people wrestling.
It didn't say little people wrestling. We're saying little people wrestling.
But
to
I'll
keep
be.
things from being
I will
insensitive.
tell you though. I went to one of these events one time.
I don't believe it.
I did.
I mean, I believe it, but
It made me. It was actually very fun, very entertaining. The announcers, the referees, every one of them were
little people.
Yes,
I wouldn't go to normal wrestling either, so that doesn't
No.
sound fun to me.
I've watched WWE. Ladder matches are so fun to watch. And they, go up them and they'll hit each other with them, climb them, get to the belts. They had the bright idea, said, hey, let's do a ladder match for Little People Wrestling. It was exactly what you think it was. It was a step ladder, and I'm like, this is not okay. This is not okay. And here I am, my brother's sitting there next to me. He said, you think they're going to have a fire match and light a matchstick next? And I said, hush, Trent!
I think this is great conversation, but I'm not going to be able to use any.
Oh! I was about to say, how far can we go before it's not far?
No, we're gonna backtrack all the way back to
I need to know my limits here.
to Billboard. That's one of them. Well, that is all of the Driving Me Crazy podcast for today. I thank you for hanging out with me on this weird kind of cobbled together episode. But I couldn't fathom doing this show without Chase by my side. And I already have to edit a lot for him anyway, so it's like he was with us the whole time. Come back 2 weeks from today for hopefully a much more normal, or as normal as things get around here, episode of the show. Until then, I have been Avery Jones. Tune in next time when maybe we'll hear Chase Golden say,
I'll be back. I'll be back.
see you next time.